Howdy Moz fans, and welcome to another edition of Whiteboard Friday. This week we are going to chat all things image SEO, so SEO for photos, for visuals, for graphics, and talk a little bit about how you rank not just in Google image search, but also in Google in the image pack. And look, there's a couple of things that we should discuss before we even get into that. First off, many folks are asking, is it still even worthwhile to do image search SEO? You might recall that in years past, when you clicked on an image in Google image search, you would go to the website or the web page that had that image on it. Now if you click it, Google opens up a full-size version of that, tells you the website it's on, but for many people, that's enough, right? They do a bunch of searches and never actually visit your website. Google's just serving up your image unbeknownst to you, and you don't even get any data on that, so you don't know how many impressions it gets, all that kind of stuff. So here's the case for image search SEO. First off, if you are in the world of visually sold products and services, so we've talked to many people who are like contractors or decorators, remodelers, hotel owners or hoteliers, craft sellers, and they find that image search is something that people do as research before they choose them. In fact, you might see actual searches for kitchen remodels Seattle, and then people will base their decision of who to go with based on the images that pop up there. They'll visit that website. Anything that's designed to earn links and citations. So if you're producing graphs or data, or you're taking photos of events or of people, and you're hoping that those people or other folks will go and use your images and then link back to you, you definitely want to do image search SEO. That can get you in front of that right audience. And when they use your image in their presentation or their publication or their website, you get the link. And visual content licensors, very obviously, they make their living selling images. Google image search is a great way to get in there. So if you're a photographer or an illustrator or a stock gallery, you certainly would want to be doing that as well. So a couple of data points. One is comes from JumpShot, whose US data set is fairly sizable in the millions of searchers. And they see that about a third of all the searches performed on Google are performed in Google image search, which is just mind-bogglingly crazy, like huge. I never realized how big Google image search was until I saw that JumpShot data. It's just massive. Mozcast shows us that about 12.5% of all Google searches in the web results do show an image pack somewhere in there. Second question, do you have to use original visuals, or can you, for example, license visual content from other folks? Can you buy a stock image and put that on your site and potentially still rank for it in Google Images? And the answer is actually yes. So unlike web results, duplicates are not viewed as a problem, and Google image search will generally take one version of an image and that'll rank higher than the others, but it's not always the original. In fact, many times it's not the original source. It's a page that does a really good job of image search SEO, and so this is a great opportunity for SEOs to get some extra traffic. Just make sure that you have the right permissions. How do you figure out if image SEO is actually something you should be doing? Well, for any given keyword, if you see, for example, I searched for Santa Fe architecture here, and there's a result, I think at the top, maybe it's an ad result, and then there's the image block, right, with a few photos in there. Google is only going to show that image block if and when the searchers are actually clicking over to images very frequently, or there's lots of searches directly on Google Images for that term. And so Google itself can sort of be that indicator for you of whether there's demand. Now, if you're curious about doing this image SEO and you've decided like, okay, this probably makes sense, I should try it out, I should do some, I've got some use cases, my strong suggestion would be that you look at all the ranking factors. And they're actually quite broad, but they're not nearly as complicated maybe, or they're a little more basic than we're used to with web results. And I think that is because when it comes to images, Google is mostly hyper-concerned with relevance and serving the user's interest rather than link popularity. They don't worry as much nearly about spamming and manipulation in those results. And so you can see them using a sort of more old school style algorithm. So here's a page with some pictures of Santa Fe on it. And things that Google might use are the image file name, certainly, The alt attribute on the image, another very important reason to add alt attributes in addition to accessibility reasons, is for image search SEO. It does seem to help a little bit maybe with web results SEO too. The image caption. So this is something where we've actually seen the caption be more important than the alt attribute when it comes to image search. So if you put that little caption down below underneath your image, that can actually help with the image search rankings. Surrounding text content, so Google's going to look at this text above and below and around the images to see if it has relevance. They'll look at the page title, of course, and the page URL that it's hosted on. This is one of the reasons, by the way, that galleries of images, especially inside like stock photo galleries, don't tend to do very well because there's very little sort of relevant content surrounding them. They tend to be in these big gallery style layouts, and so there's tons of images all in one page, when what Google's looking for is just one or two that are hyper relevant to the particular topic, which is why most of the images you see doing really well in Google image search are the ones that live not by themselves necessarily, but are the premier image on that particular page. Image engagement and popularity. This is a big one. We have seen results where folks have done tests and they've shown that if you do a search on Google Images and you click the 12th image down and a lot of people start doing that, Google will move it up just like in the web results, but sometimes even more so with images. We think engagement and popularity, what people scroll to, what they click on, what they click through to matters quite a bit. And that's why you should have a very high quality, highly interesting, highly relevant image, as well as you also want to serve visitor demand. The image dimensions matter. So if you do a Google image search, you will notice that they don't show unusual sorts of, or they rarely show unusual image dimensions. So an image like this, which is very, very horizontal and not very vertical, probably wouldn't do well, just as a very vertical, not very horizontal one. They tend to look for, sort of 16 by 9, 4 by 3, square images, and sometimes turned on their side so vertically can work as well. But anything much more than that, and you get into problems. Image size, so Google is generally not looking for very small images. They also tend not to show gigantic ones, although they sometimes will scale down. If you do searches for anything plus wallpaper, Google knows that the intent is for very large sizes, and so they will show that. Embeds of the image, so if your visual appears on many different websites and pages and it's been embedded multiple times, that seems to have a positive impact. And then traditional web ranking factors on the existing URL. So if this page, architecture.com/Santa Fe, happened to rank well in the top 5 or 6, 7 for Santa Fe architecture, chances are good that images from that page would also rank in the first few images results. The reverse isn't always true, but if you can get the ranking in web results, you can generally do well in the image results as well. And why wouldn't you want to? Because you can get traffic from both. And then finally, of course, Google seems to finally have gotten to the point where they have some sophistication and they're doing a little bit of image relevance and visual match in here too. So if you have a picture of a koala, as adorable as that might be, even if you have every other factor in here, they probably won't show you for Santa Fe architecture, at least not for long. All right, what steps should you take if you want to figure out if image SEO is right for you? Well, just a few. I want you to know what your SEO goals are, and then I want you to compare those SEO goals against your keyword research list, right? So you're going to do an audit of your keyword research list. Keyword Explorer is actually really awesome for this. I think there are probably some other tools that do it, but right now, Keyword Explorer is one of the best. You can also do it in Moz Pro, but you basically plug in all your keywords, you go to your list page, and you see what number of results actually have image searches or image boxes like this, blocks up in them. And that will tell you what kind of opportunity you've got. You then want to create, if you decide that you're going to do any image SEO at all and it matches with your goals, you're then going to create a set of guidelines, right? I want these guidelines basically to be for anyone who's creating content on the site. If you are putting an image in, just do these 3 or 4 things, right? Make sure you've got that caption right, make sure you do the image alt attribute, make sure that the size and dimensions are right, and you do some image optimization so it loads quickly on mobile and those kinds of things. You're then going to potentially create that target list of image SEO opportunities. So these would be like the 5 or 10, or if you're bigger, maybe 50 keywords that have image blocks in them or that get lots of image searches, and therefore you're trying to target them, you can then go actually create the priority of, hey, we need a visual for this, hey, we need to put it on a page, and we need to nail these things. And you can also, and I would recommend this, audit your existing images on your site. Probably there's a bunch of low-hanging fruit that you're missing out on. My recommendation, check out Ryan Ayers' How to Perform an Image Optimization Audit from last year on Moz's website. Really good post, walks you through how to use Screaming Frog to do this and how to optimize all those visuals. Thanks for sticking with me through this, all this dense information on image SEO. I hope you rock the image rankings, and we'll see you again next week for another edition of Whiteboard Friday. Take care.